Welcome to Both Sides of the Story. I'm your host, Alan Janae from CBS 4. Thank you for joining us. Our special high school debate series returns, challenging our students and our viewers to look at Colorado issues from both sides. Each student will offer a case, ask and answer questions of their opponent, and offer rebuttal. We'll also feature an expert judging panel who will chime in with questions of their own. Now, both students have prepared a pro and a con case for tonight's debate topic, and they won't know which side they'll defend until we have a coin flip right here in the studio. This is our special third place match featuring students from Denver's George Washington High School and Manitou Springs High School who battled in last week's debates. So let's meet our participants now. First up, Benna Smith from George Washington High School. Benna is a junior. She'll be a senior in August, competing in public forum and debate, and is in the GW International Baccalaureate program. She is passionate about women's rights and social justice. Next, Taylor Knight from Manitou Springs High School. Taylor is entering his third year on the Manitou Springs forensics team, having earned a degree of distinction in the National Speech and Debate Association. He has competed in the United States extemporaneous speaking congressional debate as well as Lincoln Douglas debate methods. Taylor was an alternate to nationals this year and a state qualifier. He plans on pursuing a career in business. Also joining us, our special panel of experts who will offer their analysis of the debate today. They are Dominic Dezzutti, host of Colorado Decides, the election debate series produced in conjunction with CBS 4, and Patricia Calhoun, editor of Westward and longtime panelist on Colorado Inside Out. All right, time to set the ground rules. Each side will present their case, ask each other questions, and have a chance to offer rebuttals. When it's finished, we'll go to our illustrious panel for their own questions, and we'll find out whom they felt offered the best arguments. So let's get started today. The issue up for debate is the lifelong commercial value of a college education outweighs the average amount of student loans needed to graduate. So let's have our coin flip now and get underway. Taylor, I'm going to have you call it, and we'll decide who goes first. What are you calling?
Tails.
And tails it is. What would you like?
I would like affirmation, please.
Okay, Taylor with the affirmative. Benna will have the negative. As the proponent, Taylor, during this first round, the floor is now yours for 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Since 1636, when the first college learning institution was founded in America, Harvard University, college education has become a major part of most lives in the United States. However, one of the looming consequences of a college degree is the side effect of debt. According to USA Today, the average debt for a student graduating from college with a bachelor's degree is $31,000, along with the average amount for the current national student being around $37,172. However, even with the daunting aspect of debt to overcome, with college, the benefits in the sense that not only does college support adulthood, but it benefits more in the long run. According to Time.com, college graduates make around $50,556 a year, compared to the $19,000 a year high school dropouts make and $28,000 a year high school graduates make. Between this difference, on average, individuals with a college degree are shown to make over $1 million more in a lifetime than non-college graduates. This shows that even the aspect of physical value and currency is paid back by having a college degree. Career choices also widen through having a college degree. Careers such as engineering and careers in the medical field require degree specifics to get a job. For example, you can't just go and get a job in engineering or the medical field. You would have to study something specific such as mechanical engineering, software engineering, or even neuroscience. The Bureau of Labor Statistics also shows that college graduates have an unemployment rate of 2.5%, meaning that only around 1 in 40 college graduates do not have a job. Comparatively, individuals without a college degree have an unemployment rate of around 4.5%. Clearly, even though college does have a cost, the value of degrees given by colleges are much more weighed in the benefit of the holder of a degree. For example, when one individual goes into a job office to get a job and is competing with another, if you didn't graduate high school and the other did get a college degree, then anybody with a college degree is going to be weighed and outweighed and more or less have a higher chance to be chosen than any individual without a high school degree.
All right, Taylor, thank you very much. So, Benna, you now have 2 minutes for questions and cross-examination. Go ahead.
Thank you. at the point when only 56% of people who begin a four-year degree in college, only 56% succeed in graduating, at the point when 44% of people are dropping out, how are these people reaping the benefits of this college education?
Well, the problem with most college dropouts is that when you go into college, a lot of the reason people drop out is because they are not into what they are pursuing. I believe it's not a problem with the cost of colleges and then outweighing the benefits. I believe it's a problem with the individual not knowing specifically what they want to do.
Okay, so let's continue talking about these dropouts. At the point when they're still paying for college, right? How are they not affected by this debt?
See, now, I like to believe that college is like an investment. When you invest in a car, you want the car to go and take you places and take you anywhere. But if you total the car and you can't use it anymore, you're still paying for that car because you invested in it. College is the same way. College is an investment and it's meant to benefit you. But if you drop out, then of course you're going to still have to pay the consequences because in both cases, it is an investment and a choice you made.
Okay, so is the car worth it if it only works 56% of the time?
Well, I think that depends on what car you're buying. If individuals make the choice on their degree and they decide, oh, well, I don't want to do that degree anymore, then of course they're going to drop out. If you choose a crappy car, you choose a crappy car. In that sense, it is just the same way. College degrees and investments are basically incorporated in that sense.
Okay. So additionally, when college graduates graduate from college, a lot of jobs make it necessary for them to have additional training in specific fields. This costs extra money, right? Would you say that it's worth it to go to college while facing this debt and also facing this additional certificate cost?
Well, the great options about high school and colleges is that you get the opportunity for internships within both. I mean, there's always opportunity to go and work with somebody for free to gain that experience, and it's really available in the wide market.
All right, you'll have to hold on the cross-examination for now. You have 3 minutes, Benna, to make your case in the negative. Go ahead.
According to Friedman of Forbes, in February 2017, the average student in the class of 2016 has $37,000 in student loan debt. The lasting effect of this is large. As CNBC explains, in August of 2017, it takes the average student debt borrower 20 years to pay off their loans. The first reason why the debt is not worth this commercial value of a college education is the difficulty for college students to find jobs. Nearly half of new undergraduates are underemployed, working jobs that don't require a bachelor's degree, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Times Magazine explains the impact of this in February 2017. Workers who were in jobs they were underqualified for in 2014 earned an average of 49% less than their peers in good fit jobs. Many graduates are not receiving jobs which their degree is needed, thus the student loans needed to graduate are outweighed by larger salaries. The Harvard Business Review explains in May of 2016 that a large reason for this is because 20% of positions require a college degree also expect a certificate or license for a particular technical skill. Thus, a college education does not fully prepare a large number of graduates, as costly additional training is needed for many jobs. In contrast, NPR explains on April 25th that people with career and technical educations are more likely to be employed than their counterparts with academic credentials. Many without college educations in technical fields avoid the large costs and debt that college brings while reaping the benefits of a higher salary. The second reason why the benefits of college education does not exceed the cost is because of the high non-completion rate. NPR explains in May 2014 that only 59% of people who begin a four-year degree finish within 6 years. However, non-completers borrow student loans just as often as those who finish. And unfortunately, raw knowledge picked up while in college doesn't do nearly as much to boost earning potential as a diploma does. The third reason is because of the detriments to the economy. This happens in two ways. The first is because of a decrease in spending. A Consumer Reports survey finds that 44% of graduates say they've cut back on day-to-day living expenses because of their student loan debt, and 37% say they've delayed saving for retirement or other financial goals. Marquette of NPR explains in June 2017 that this debt impacts all consumption that money could be spent on instead, like homeownership and buying cars. Without millennial spending, the economy is likely to see problems down the road. The economy is harmed second because of a lack of entrepreneurship. Miranda Marquis of NPR explains that college graduates are more likely to work for others than be self-employed. The reason for this is because college graduates with large amount of debt will seek stable jobs rather than participating in risky entrepreneurship. Marquis continues that small business development and entrepreneurship provides opportunities for economic growth. This lack of self-employment harms the entire economy as entrepreneurs create jobs, add to national income, create social change, and often aid in community development.
Anna, thank you very much. And now, Taylor, you have 2 minutes for cross-examination in the affirmative. Go right ahead.
So now you talk about how degrees may not be worth it because it's hard to get a job because maybe some of them need certifications. Now, couldn't you agree that as the certification depends on the degree also depends on the certification? As like, if you didn't have a degree, then it wouldn't matter in the first place?
Yeah, that's certainly possible, but the point here is that competition has increased greatly, right? So people with greater training and who spend more money on this extra certification and spend more time on this certification get jobs easier, right? So people that are just graduating from college don't necessarily have an easy time of getting into these jobs because you need this additional step.
Okay, so well, piggybacking off of that, couldn't you agree that having that college degree also qualifies you to be in the position to like start getting experience in the first place?
Sure, there are some jobs where that is true. However, as I stated, like in my case, people who have work in technical fields find jobs much more easier than their counterparts who have graduated from college. So at that point, you can see that you don't necessarily need a college degree to have a good paying job where you're going to need this extra certification.
So then what's your opinion on the fact that, say, non-college degree holders have a 4.5% unemployment rate compared to the college holders' 2.5%?
Yeah, so this is all of non-college attendees, right? There's a large portion of these who are making the same amount that college graduates are making. In technical fields, the average salary is around, people can make up to $100,000 a year, and the average is around $50,000.
Okay, so then what about the special fields such as like software engineering or mechanical engineering that I mentioned where it is basically required to get that specific degree in that field to enter?
So like a different certificate, yes?
Well,
is that what you're talking about?
Basically, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so they can go towards these different certificate programs, but that costs much less than these college attendees who are going to put themselves into large amounts of debt.
Okay, that will have to wrap up the questions right there. And now, Taylor, you have 2 minutes for rebuttal. Go ahead.
Okay, so overall what's to be outlined in my really rebuttal today is that really college can benefit in the main aspect of really being able to make money. And the fact is that in my case, I stated that on average that college graduates will make over $1 million more in their lifetime than anybody who doesn't have a college degree. Now, what this shows is that even if individuals who have that college degree may need certifications to get into more job positions, as my opponent agreed, the degree itself is what allows individuals to get into that field of work in the first place. Without a degree in college, you can't really know what you're getting into. And it's through getting these degrees and experiencing college itself that you almost learn how to be an adult in that sense. Now, the issue with the college debt problem is that most individuals are not looking into what they need to do. When we see individuals almost not really paying back their debt properly or being in debt and not spending because of it, it's because the individuals were not properly really looking into what college degree they were getting into. For example, I myself wanted to be a psychologist, but after finding out that there weren't many jobs in the market that I would enjoy, I decided not to go in that and instead pursue a career in business. It is the individual thinking that decides the outcome of college debt and college influence because it is up to the individual to decide what they need to do. This is the reason we have such a large student debt problem. It's not the degrees causing the problem because the benefits of the degree do outweigh the costs of it. It's the individual struggling to find what they want to do with said degree and finding positions with said degree because of what they chose to do in the first place. Now, my opponent also makes a point about risky entrepreneurship and how that can really affect the market in the future, how we don't have individuals risking in the market. However, risky entrepreneurship is just that, risky. And in today's society, personally, I wouldn't choose to do anything risky with my college degree that I worked for. And by allowing college degrees, we do add that more stable aspect of life. We keep it stable and simple as it is.
All right, Taylor, thank you very much. Now, Benna, you have 3 minutes to respond and close. Go ahead.
All right. Starting at the fact where my opponent tells you that all of the impacts from my case come from not thinking hard enough about debt and about college degree and what degree they want to have. However, look to the fact that we need to be looking at college graduates and college attendees as a whole, not just the specific group of people who think really hard about their degree, because these people who aren't going to make the best decisions about their degree are going to exist like no matter what. We need to look at everyone, so these impacts are still going to happen regardless of what we're looking at. But then you can look towards the fact that it's becoming harder for students to find jobs because of this increased competition, because many jobs require increased certification and additional additions to a college degree. My opponent says that that people don't necessarily have to go into these and that college prepares for these. However, look to the fact that people with technical degrees can earn just as much as a college graduate and are paid can find jobs much more easily. So ultimately, they don't need to have a college degree in order to reap the same benefits as a college graduate. But then look to the fact that only 41% of college attendees graduate. So at that point, you're going to see that the debt for these people is not worth it at all because they don't even have a college degree. But then look to the fact that we're going to see massive harms to the economy because of a decrease in spending because people have large amounts of debt. And second, we're going to see a decrease in entrepreneurship. My opponent states that we shouldn't have risk and we shouldn't have entrepreneurship, but that is completely false. Entrepreneurs create jobs and build businesses, add to the national income, which are ultimate benefits for our society. We need entrepreneurship and risks to have a successful society. But then going over my opponent's point, he really just says that college graduates make a lot more money than their counterparts, and he gives all these statistics about how college dropouts make $28,000 less. Weigh this on my side because these $28,000 that college dropouts are making, they're still paying debt, and this is ultimately, they're still paying these loans back, and this is harmful for these people because they're making a lot less than people who might graduate college. But then look to the fact that he states that that the unemployment rate of 2.5% of graduates is much less than the unemployment rate of 4.5% for non-college attendees. However, look to the fact that this is all non-college attendees and not people who go towards other education modes, such as education for a technical job, which ultimately will benefit them more because first, they don't have to pay this massive amount of debt, but second, they also can make up to as much as a college student and can find jobs much more easily.
Benna, thank you very much. And finally, Taylor, your 1 minute close now.
So to completely outline everything, I would just like to focus on one thing, the investment aspect of college. Now, what's going on with college is that, yes, it is an investment. And as I stated earlier with my analogy with the car and the college, really, it's what you choose to do. However, statistics that I have given have shown that overall, college degrees, when people pass successfully, do improve the life of individuals, do improve the income and hiring rate of individuals who come out with college degrees. One of my opponent's point is that people who have technical degrees make almost as much as any individual with college degrees. However, really, she focuses on an outline, while technical degrees aren't part of a generalized outline. She says we can't focus on any part of the college degree aspect of individuals who don't know what they're doing, don't choose the right degree, but then goes on to focus on a technical career aspect. And simply put, college keeps individuals stable and keeps them able to really depend on themselves once they've graduated properly with college degrees. And in this way, they are more beneficial than the cost.
All right, Taylor and Benna, thank you both very much. Very spirited debate. We want to go to our panel of experts now and get their thoughts on what they saw. So, Dominic, Patty, what do you have?
Well, both folks, you did a fantastic job this debate. You've made Patty and I's job very difficult. But let's ask some questions first. Taylor, we're going to start with you. And Patty, would you like to ask the first question?
Well, Taylor, let's go back to your car analogy. As someone who got an EdSol degree in liberal arts, do you differentiate the kinds of degrees people get and what their earnings are going to be? Or would you argue even for someone who went into a loser liberal arts, history, English major, where they're not doing a lot of hiring now, still, I think in your argument, you said the value of an education just as part of growing up, the college education, as learning how to be an adult is actually worth the $31K you might acquire in debts.
Exactly. Just like an old classic, say, Ferrari you would find, a little beater that you would put in your garage and then try to fix up as time, any rinky-dink degree or any sort of degree in any sense helps any individual educate themselves into how the real world works. It almost grandfathers them into that adult life. Because when you come out of high school is educating you for college. However, college educate you for life. That's my opinion, at least.
Taylor, your case brings up technical degrees like engineers and medical, but backing up with what Patty's talking about, what is the way a liberal arts degree is going to pay off or get to that $50,000 a year average salary if they choose to not, if they get a degree in French literature and they're not going to pursue something in French literature? How do they get to that $50,000 a year as a college graduate, even though it's not something they graduated in?
Well, I believe that even in degrees such as French literature, as you mentioned, people can still use that to their benefit. If they enjoy French literature and then choose to study that, then they could enter something such as foreign marketing. So you enter a career in fast food, for example, and they're like, hey, we need to set up a restaurant in France. Then you have the opportunity to come in, enter the market with that independent sort of resourcing, that independent degree, and be able to use it to your advantage. As long as people are able to realize their skills and specialities, there's always a way to manipulate it to get up to that money value as you were talking about.
Okay. Benny, you're not off the hook now. We're going to ask you some questions. Patty, go for it.
Well, let's return to the 31K or the 37K, depending. Now, Taylor argues that you get your money's worth just because you get an adult education. I'm interested in the entrepreneurial aspect you talked about. If someone is willing to take a risk and start a business, it would seem to me that 37K outstanding is the least of their concerns. So how do you really see that would dampen entrepreneurism?
Yeah, so the fact with entrepreneurism is that it's not always successful, and a lot of college graduates see a stable 9-to-5 job as much more beneficial to them than a risky entrepreneur path that they may take to their paying off their debt. And so they have this assured payment for their debt with this stable job rather than an entrepreneur route that might potentially fail. However, we see all in all in our society, we do need an increase in entrepreneurship.
Ben, part of your case talked about technical fields and the fact that you can get training without a college degree and probably be able to reap a high salary quicker than you would as a college graduate. But are there enough technical fields for everybody? I guess I think about electricians and plumbers who are going to make fantastic rates of pay, but it's not a job that's built for everybody, the outside and physical. What do you think about its availability for other folks?
I think it's very available for other folks because as there becomes a political push for increased infrastructure like roads, airports, etc. And the U.S. Department of Education theorizes that 68% more job openings than people to fill them will occur in the next few years. So at the point when there are tons of job openings in that field, there are opportunities for anyone that would want to join this field. On the aspect of people who might not want to go into this field, it wouldn't be as available for them, but that's because not everyone wants to go into the same thing, and that's why there are different paths, and this is why a college education is not worth it for everybody.
Well, you can tell that Patty and I have our work cut out for us. Give us a moment here. We'll try to come up with a winner.
I know we take a formal position that we are all in favor of French literature, though.
Yes, we are.
Sure.
Yes, we are.
We're going to give our panel a moment to consider whom they felt won the debate. That gives me time to tell you that we will be back with 8 more episodes of both sides of the story this fall. We'll be tackling the ballot issues likely to appear on this year's ballot. To check all of them out, you can go to cpt12.org. So, panel, how about a decision?
Like we said before, Taylor and Benny, you both did a fantastic job this debate. Ben, I'm sure you made maybe some of our college sponsors a little worried with some of your argumentation. Both Patty and I thought about this, and when it came down to arguments, it really came down to just a few questions, just a few details. But with that, Taylor, we're going to give you this round. We thought your arguments won the day. But again, it was a very close debate, and Ben, I think you made a lot of college admissions folks very worried this evening. So Congratulations, Taylor.
And I'm sure they'll be knocking at your door for that college degree to invite you. Congratulations to both of you, both Benna and Taylor. Thank you very much. You gave our viewers a wonderful debate tonight. You should both be very proud. That's all the time we have for our program tonight. I want to thank our excellent students for accepting our challenge and participating in our debates. I also want to thank our esteemed panel for sharing their thoughts. Finally, thank you for tuning in. It's the support of viewers like you and our supporters and our sponsors that helps make this show a reality. Stay tuned for our championship match coming up next, featuring students from Denver's East High School and Cherry Creek High School. For everyone here at Colorado Public Television, I'm Alan Janae. Thanks for watching, and that is Both Sides of the Story.